Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the Devie exit, resilience and reckoning in Silicon Valley. It's a story that absolutely shatters the glossy, picture-perfect image of the startup journey we're usually fed. Let's break down exactly what went down behind the scenes with founder Puja Balachander.
Okay, let's dive into this, because right at the heart of this story is a massive, honestly kind of unbelievable irony. I mean, think about it. How exactly do you hack parenting when you don't even have kids of your own? Well, turns out the creator of a massive hit parenting app wasn't even a mother. Puja Balachander was actually a brilliant product designer who managed to decode the entire parenting experience before ever stepping into those shoes herself. It's wild.
And the result of all that decoding was her app, Devie. During the height of the pandemic, when families were completely isolated and parents were just at their absolute wits' end, Devie became a literal lifeline. The sources actually describe her app as a guardian angel for thousands of struggling parents. Puja brought this incredible warmth and structure to families who were just navigating total chaos. Looking at this early success, you get this super uplifting expectation of what her startup journey must have been like, right? Like, brilliant founder solves a critical problem and reaps the rewards.
But the expectation of a skyrocketing founder, boardrooms, term sheets, high-level business deals, that quickly crashed into a much darker, grittier reality. This exposes what's terrifyingly known as the Silicon Valley tax, that female founders are forced to pay behind closed doors. It wasn't actually about the business for some of these folks. It was about something far more insidious. The reality of venture capital funding completely shattered the illusion of her viral, uplifting success story. While the public saw a wildly popular app, Puja was dealing with a system that proved, even in modern tech, the old boys club still firmly calls the shots. The whole tone of her journey shifted violently from this heartwarming success story to an incredibly tense, uncomfortable environment where her actual merits as a founder were just completely sidelined. Instead of receiving professional correspondence about scaling her app, she was getting Instagram direct messages from male investors asking for late-night drinks. Let that sink in for a second. The exact people holding the keys to her company's survival weren't asking for pitch decks. They were creeping into her personal DMs. And this brilliantly illustrates how it just didn't stop there. Requests for late-night drinks were paired with demands for one-on-one dinner meetings. Listen, this wasn't about discussing user acquisition or revenue models. This was relentless harassment masking itself as business networking. It's a truly shocking look at how power dynamics in venture capital are weaponized against female founders.
And while dealing with all that toxic noise, the clock suddenly started ticking on her company's actual survival. The timeline here accelerates incredibly fast. Year one, riding the high of viral success. Then, boom, 2021 hits with a massive blow. Her chief technology officer suddenly quits. Mere days later, as a direct result of that, the investors' checks completely stop. A split second after that, Puja is forced into a rapid survival race, staring down the barrel of a forced sale. The stakes literally could not have been higher. Her CTO left for personal reasons, which, by the way, was entirely out of her control. But in the volatile world of startups, that meant the funding abruptly froze. Just like that, Puja was left holding this incredibly successful product, but with absolutely no cash flow to keep the lights on. She faced a brutal, split-second decision. Let the dream of Devie die entirely, or find a way to sell. So, how did she respond? Well, let's move to and see how this builds, because this is where her brilliance truly shines. Step one was confronting the terrifying reality that the investor checks were just gone. No panic, just action. Step two, she executed a high-stakes, incredibly complex emergency exit to a US tech company. Through rapid, strategic quick thinking, she took a situation that should have been a complete disaster and completely flipped it into a strategic win. And that is exactly why the sources frame Puja's story not as a tragedy, but as a genuine masterclass in resilience. She wasn't just a victim of a rigged system or bad timing. She was a brilliant strategist who successfully outplayed the board she was given. When the old boys club tried to demean her, and when her entire infrastructure collapsed, she didn't fold, she maneuvered. But to truly understand the depth of the masterclass we just witnessed, we really have to look back at what it cost her to even stay at the table. Look at this number, £12,000. To build this empire that acted as a guardian angel for parents across the globe, Puja lived on just £12,000 a year for 3 entire years. To put that into perspective, the sheer grit and determination required to survive on that shoestring budget while simultaneously battling creepy investors and building a viral tech company, it is absolutely staggering. So the crucial point is captured right here in the key takeaways from her journey. First off, her story proves an incredible business truth. A brilliant designer can totally hack a complex problem like parenting without ever being the target user. But more importantly, it proves the absolute courage required to hold your ground when the people with the money play dirty. She proved you can outsmart the old boys club and force a win, even when the walls are closing in. Puja Balachander faced an absolute nightmare scenario of predatory investors and a sudden corporate crisis, yet she secured her empire anyway. Do you respect her high-stakes move to sell when the chips were down? Drop a respect in the comments below if you think she made the right call. And hey, make sure to subscribe to this Explainer series for more untold stories of the brilliant women who are disrupting the world. Thanks for learning with me today.